Hey, good morning, everyone. How are you doing today? This beautiful Tuesday, April 8th, 2025. I want to say good morning to our trading room. Everyone here at Hit Run Candlesticks, good morning. Today we've got Right Way Options with us, so welcome everybody from Right Way Options. And a big thank you to everybody that's over in the YouTube and the X. I don't know what you call it, the live stream this morning. Let me turn off a couple of things here. There we go. Okay, there. Hey, good morning, Jim. Lawrence, how are you? Another Jim, good morning. Hey, Gold, good morning. Donna, good morning. Joe, Tammy. Joe, great quote, by the way. Bill, good morning. Let's see who's over here. Same folks. Hey, MW, good morning. How are you? Thanks for coming in on the YouTube channel there. Appreciate it. Hey, I want to thank everybody. Yesterday, I had some difficulties with my computer. I've got that nasty Windows blue screen coming up today. I'm going to have to buy a new computer, it looks like. So this one's limping along. So if I happen to disappear, it's not the weather. It's beautiful out there. It's that the blue screen of death got me. So it's still plaguing me. It's already happened once this morning, but things are a bit smoother. So anyway, thank you everybody for putting up with me yesterday. Ed, thank you very much for filling in what you did yesterday. Absolutely appreciate it. Good morning. Good morning, Stephanie. Good morning, Lee. How are you? Lee, I think you're new. I don't recognize your name here. So good morning. Good morning. Okay, let's take a look at this market and yippee-ki-yay. Are we bullish? Well, let's just be careful about that, okay? Let's just be careful. So yesterday was a fantastic day, absolutely a brilliant day, good candle here. And it looks like we're getting a little bit of follow through this morning, at least for this early in the morning. This blue line, dotted blue line, might be kind of hard for you to see. That's the 500 period moving average, and we're over that. So to me, I think that's okay. That's a start, is what that is. That's a start. So above that area is where I would look at possibly being long with a relief rally in mind. So what is a relief rally? A relief rally is when we have price action that moves up, but still not in a big trend or even a really good trend for that matter. It's just some price action. All this downward pressure, actually all this downward pressure here, downward pressure here, all that pressure, it just gets overwhelming and somewhere it's going to release. And here it is. We're getting a little bit of a release now. How long this lasts? Your answer is as good as mine. Sorry, man. Okay, so what I'm kind of looking for is, and I think it's what we all look for as far as technicians go, chartists, people that look at charts, is we look at the possibility where price can go based on support, resistance, and things like that. So I'm going to look at this price moving up to maybe this low right here, which that's also going, let's encompass the T line. That's the black line as well. So, moving up to this area. And if price can make it through there, and by the way, it would be okay, if we rallied up and a little bit of a pullback. I'm not sure that would upset me too much, especially to right about here. That would be okay. And then what I would want to see is price to move back up through this area. And when it does, then I think what we're going to look at is right through there. And what this is, these four lines, this is the 50% retracement of the high back here last month, I guess. Last month. And the low of yesterday's candle. So that would be the 50% retracement. So that's what I would look for. The higher we move up, the more dangerous this market gets. I know some people look at that as, if we if we start moving up today and we move up tomorrow, something like that, there's going to be a lot of, oh, the bulls are back. We're going to new highs. Everything is great. Yeah, let's pump the brakes just a little bit, okay? We are a far cry from a bullish trend. I don't care how powerful this is. And we want to be careful that the sellers don't come back in and roll us back down, okay? So if you're trading, trade cautiously. Um, Remember to take profits. That's always important. Um, and keep those stops really, really tight. Here's an example. I bought Bank of America yesterday, a little bit of bottom picking, but I've got this big fat red line, which today it doesn't look like I'm going to have to worry about it, at least not right now. But if today would have peaked its big toe underneath that red line, I was out. My stop is hardcore below those lows intraday. And normally, I don't necessarily do an intraday stop, but I got to tell you, I decided, all right, I'm going to buy some Bank of America down here, do a little bottom picking, but absolutely close this out. Now, if Bank of America works out, then I'll just raise my stop up a little bit because in this crazy market, things can turn around right away. All righty, I've got here. We better look at a few things. Let's look at T2123. Now it's going to be up this morning when the market. See, did I turn all that off? I did. This is going to be up a little bit. The market's up a little bit, so it's going to be up. But until those dots turn green and the white line moves above those dots, I'm price action on the SPY might and the scanner might give me some long trades. I might look at them long, but believe me, I'm very nervous until we get a full-fledged reversal down here on this T2123 indicator. And you can see VXX remains bullish, although it's going to be down this morning a little bit. But let's, the big thing is, what is it going to be toward the end of the day? That's going to be the important thing right there. So we'll keep our eyes on that. Let's take a look at IYT, the transports. The transports are still horribly underwater, and I don't think they fared that particularly great yesterday. We've got a nice doji in here, but you can see price is still below the T-line. T-line is still below the trend indicator here, and we're just still bearish. If we were to move over to an hourly chart, we're just going sideways. We don't even have the bullishness on the hourly chart. If we take a look at SMH on the daily, I think it fared a little bit better candle in here. Bullish piercing candle. It looks like we're having a little follow through. So let's put that right there. So above 187.85 or 90, that's looking pretty good. We still have to get through, I think, that 500 period moving average. I think that will be one of the first things this needs to do. Doesn't matter what it does down here, needs to get through that 500. And again, you can see that price is below the T-line. T-line's below the trend indicator. If we run over to the 60-minute chart, you can see that it's actually looking a little bit bullish here. So, like I said, yesterday's yesterday's candle fared pretty well in SMH, but the key will be the follow through. Okay, that's going to be the key here. So maybe it's important that we exert some patience, and this would be a good time to talk about this right here. So myself and the members of Hit and Run Candlesticks, and I will certainly welcome any ideas from anybody. Feel free to email me any ideas. But what this is a quality list, strictly quality. It's not flyers. It's not, hey, this is the hot stock for the day, unless it's a quality company. Okay. What we're going to do is we want to build a watch list of strict quality, because one thing about this market is we are beat down. We're beat down hard. We're horribly, horribly oversold. That doesn't mean it's a buy right now, but what it does mean is that someday there is going to be some great buys that could change the lives of those that get into some of these, if the timing is right. Now that's going to be key, is timing. But if you don't have them on a watch list, if you're not paying attention to the charts, your timing is never going to be right. Just be luck at that point. So again, today, anyone from Hit and Run or anybody wants to email me quality charts, will consider putting them on that list. I would like to get somewhere between 30, 40 on that list, and we don't want to overdo it. But anyway, I welcome your ideas. Okay. All right. I've got a few charts here, and then let's take a look at what you guys have. I want to start with Apple, only because I want to share with you that we closed our Apple puts yesterday for a sweet 140% on 10 contracts. You can do the math. That was a great day. Not every day do you get a golden egg like that, from the old goose, but it was a good trade. I'm still holding some stocks that are upside down, but that was a fantastic trade. And now I'm looking maybe to do some long here, or at least be patient till the next candle signal in here. Let's take a look at NVDA. NVDA, notice we're bouncing off that 500 period moving average. I don't know, would we call that a bullish engulf? It might be. Yeah, I think so. We'll call that a bullish engulf, and you can see that we're getting follow through this morning. So if somebody bought this right here, stop wise, maybe your stop is that 99.18 or close to it. Another area for a stop that's very common is about 50% of that candle. And then, of course, another stop that is very common is the low of that candle. So that might be where stops are looked at. Maybe if you're buying it up here on this breakout, remember, you're going to have the same problem moving up as we looked at on the market. We're going to start moving up, and we want to look at areas that might cause us a little bit of a problem. And right here, there's the 50% retracement. You look through this right here, and it just looks like right through there might be a problem. And then, of course, we have this little gap right in here. Once that's filled, that might be a little bit of a problem. So for the long-term traders, this might be a great place to start picking up NVIDIA, but make sure you have that stop in, because nothing says NVIDIA has to go up from here. It could start to roll over and just come back. I've heard, you guys have all heard it too. You watch CNBC, you watch Bloomberg, you get emails, you get texts, you get everything. And there's somebody that says we're on the best rally we're ever going to see in our lifetime. You hear some people say that, hey, we're still going to go down. Some people say that we're just going to be sideways for the next year. Everybody can say what they want. The truth is, follow the chart. And right now, we don't have a bullish chart. We don't even have a reversal. We have a bullish engulf, yes, but that means absolutely nothing without follow through. Okay, follow through. So be patient. Don't just blindly follow somebody because they said that the greatest rally of our time is coming, or that we're going to fall down another 1,000 points. Just simply follow the chart. Let's look at X. Man, did you guys see X yesterday? Look at that candle on X. This is a weekly chart. Yeah, weekly chart. And man, I'm going to go to a monthly chart. Look at this thing here. When it starts to break out, holy moly, look at that upside on that. So I would keep our eyes on X. Might be one to keep an eye on. Another one is CVS. I think CVS had a nice move yesterday. Nice candlestick. Beautiful trend on CVS. And it looks like we're getting some pretty good follow through today. So that might be a nice little trade right there. You're going to get a 3-8 trap breakout here. It looks like the 3-8 trap here, and then opening up higher would be a 3-8 trap breakout. Let's see, PLTR. I know that one person, Nancy, at least in our room yesterday, bought some PLTR down here. Congratulations. It looks like it's going to be working out pretty good, pretty darn good here. So I'm in the mood to buy that myself, but be a little patient right in here for now. Oh, earnings. Let's not forget we have earnings coming up, okay? So please keep that in mind. All right. If anyone has any charts you want to take a look at, please let me know, okay? Nancy, you heard yesterday 50,000 on the Dow. That's pretty low. But you know, you never know. The key, I think, is simply to follow the charts. Simply follow the charts. Let's see here. Over here from good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Hey, Lee, again, welcome and thank you for being here. Let's see, Michael. Orange Swan could impose 50% tariff on China, likely negative to market. Yes, you're right. The tariffs are not, the market doesn't like the tariffs. But I suspect at some point the tariffs are going to, kind of peter out. Everything is going to balance out. And then, the market is going to move up. So that's what I suspect. And then you're asking about VXX long. Well, not until there's a buy signal. That's my rule. Okay. So what we have here is this candle here is this, I don't know what color that is. Pretty pink. I don't know. It's just like this black candle. It's just pre-market. So it opens. So it does this. It opened here, and right now it's right there. So that's just like a black candle. So when I say not until we have a bullish candle, I want to see buyers coming in. So honestly, let's see. Hydro, honestly, I want to see you buy it. Okay. I want to see you buy this. Whoops, wrong color. I want to see you or buyers buying this, and then I'll tuck myself in there right behind you, and then I'll buy it. I don't want to be the first one. I don't want to be the scout. I don't want to be the person that steps on the landmine. So long, we certainly, and believe me, we do. We have a very nice rally to the upside. So for a long trade, we want the pullback, which is happening, but we need the setup now. So just to blindly buy in here, somebody would have to really bring a lunch and explain to me why you would be buying in here. And in the end, it'll just be hope or crossing your fingers because there's no logic to buying until you see buyers moving in. Okay. So it's a great chart for the watch list. It's certainly doing its thing. That's absolutely right. But we don't have buyers yet. Okay. Let's see. Any opinion about SM? SM, is that right? SM. It's still in a downtrend. That's my opinion. So we can be bottom pickers. There's no question about it. You could come in here and you can say, okay, I'm buying SM. And what you're betting is that it's going to go up from here. But and there's nothing wrong with that. Okay. There's nothing wrong with that strategy. I've been doing this now 36 plus years. The first 5 years, I was nothing but a junk pile trader making no money. I learned that bottom picking is not where the answer is. And my years of training and coaching, running hit and run candlesticks, talking to many, many people, bottom picking makes you go in the poorhouse. It will break you. So you've got to have a reason to buy this other than it's just in the bottom or your brother-in-law or sister-in-law says, hey, you should buy SM. So I want a trend. And if we look at the daily chart, clearly the trend is down. Price is below the T-line. T-line is below the trend indicator. There is no trend. But wait, let's go to an hourly chart and just take a look at that. Look at that. Hourly chart is starting to change. So if we were to say, how about SM maybe on a 60-minute chart, hourly chart, you can see that price is above the trend indicator, but we yet do not have the T line above the trend indicator. So it's maybe close, but that's what I would base it on at this point being long, not just the daily blindly down here picking a bottom. Okay. So my opinion right now, it's still in a downtrend. Here's another thing too. What's very important when you're looking at a chart down here at the bottom is ask yourself, where do you think it's going to go? It doesn't matter where you buy it, at the bottom, at the top, in the middle. Ask yourself where it's going to go. And for instance, if you think it's going to go to the 50 period moving average, maybe that would be a good argument. So now you've got to look at this and you know, how much money can you make in here? And don't let greed beat you. Greed is good, but greed is bad. Don't let it beat you. So you've got 41% from where we are right now. Make sure you make the right entry. In other words, if this chart was to be entered a little bit better, I think, a little bit on follow through proof, it can move over this candle right here, and then you'd have yourself one heck of a morning star signal. So over $24. Let's go see what that looks like on that hourly chart now. Look at that. Wouldn't that make you feel much better? It would me anyway. Much better that price was up here. It put in this bottom. It took out all these highs right through there. We're now into that gap. Wouldn't that make you feel better? And isn't there, let's take this. There you go. Isn't 35% just as good as 41%? I think yes. So anyway, my opinion on SM, it's still in a downtrend. It's not really a buy yet. That's hard. That was a long way to get there. Hello, Terry. How are you? Thanks for being here. You bought some BA yesterday, Terry? BA? Yeah. Bottom picking. Morning star signal. Let's see, yesterday was Monday. Over Friday's candle, I get that whole buy based on the morning star signal. And look at the 60-minute. Price is above the T line. T line is above the trend indicator. Nice. You bought some UMC as well. Let's take a look there. UMC. Moving up. That might see a pullback before it goes higher, I think. RJF, and then got a few over here. RJF bouncing off the 500 period moving average. Doji bullish engulf. You know, I'd give that one a shot just based on price action. Thank you. I'm going to flag that one. Thank you very much, Terry. All right. Let's see what we've got here. You guys trade what he's guys talking about Jim Cramer. Let's see, Rickster, UTI. What do we have here? Looks like it may be a buy if it gaps down, because UTI looks like they want to buy if it gaps down, pushes up above the 50. If it gets above the 50, yes, I think that would be a buy. I think that's a nice little bottom in there, you know, just kind of like rallied up. We came down, bullish engulf. So above that 50 period moving average, I agree with you. I think that's a nice looking chart. Let's look at the weekly here on that. Yeah, look at the weekly chart. Low, flat, breakout. We come back here. Let's put this right in there. Look at that test right in there. Super. I like that. Let's flag that. Thank you. What else do we have? Okay. Another few charts. Oh, hey, let's look at TLT here. TLT is moving down. You know, I follow moving averages an awful lot. I trade with them. I scan for them an awful lot. And TLT, when I looked at it this morning, because it was popping up on the pre-market scanner that I use from LTA, and there was some things that I noticed about this. And not every chart is this way. Okay, not every chart, but an awful lot of charts are. And you know, you can't trade every chart, and you can't trade every chart pattern or setup. So keeping that in mind, one has to define what their trading strategy is. My trading strategy is to use moving averages. I use moving averages for targets, for bouncing, support, resistance, both upside, downside, targets. And when I look at a chart like this, it always amazes me. And this is what makes me a believer. There's the 500 period moving average. There's the 200 period moving average. That was close, but we won't circle it. There's the 200 period moving average, right? There's the 500. I'm sorry, the 50, excuse me. Look here, the dotted deuce. Look at the taps on the dotted deuce right there. Dotted deuce. For those that don't know, it's a modified 200 period moving average. Just look at that. You can come over here, and it kind of swung a little high on that, but I'm going to give it to it anyway, right there. Come over here and look at this, the 200 and that modified 200 period moving average right there. Sweet. Over here in the corner, look how we gapped down on the high, went right to the 50 period moving average. It always amazes me when I see that. And that just drives it home. Stay the course. Stay with my strategy. It works. Doesn't work on every chart. Nope. But neither does every bullish engulf. Neither does every chart pattern. None of that works 100%. But I believe you have to have a strategy that you drive to, drive through, drive with, whatever you want to call it. Anyway, I think I like this. So, yeah, I think I like this. All righty, let's look here. Hey, Thomas, how are you? Rum? MW, SN here, we'll take a look at that. Did I look at it wrong? Let's see here. Let me look at run for a long. It's starting to set up down here. Nice bounce off the 500 period moving average. I think you've got terrific candle patterns down here. Absolutely. Little doji. There's a morning star signal. I'm going to put another line on that. So a morning star signal for me is best when, you have a down day. And then you have that middle candle. I'm not so particular where that is for a morning star. It could be up here, and I would still call it a morning star. This is a pretty nice, nearly book perfect morning star. So here we're down. We gapped down doji. We didn't gap up. That's okay. We gapped up from the low, I guess. But what I like about this, see how we closed over this first candle of the morning star over that 758 mark, and then we rally up and we push down. That's just all part of the testing procedure. All right. So here we are up there, we test, and now we're up again, and we're up above that area. I think that's sweet. I think that is candle price action at work right here. I think that's near perfection. That's beautiful candle action there. Nice double bottom moving up. So the way I would look at this is I'm going to look at the 50 period moving average. Now, somebody can put your target way up here. I don't care. You can put your target wherever you want. But I want to plan my trade. And my trade right now would only be to the 50. And then at the 50, reevaluate it. You can come up here and you can say, well, your trade is all the way up here at what, 14, 13 and a half. Well, good for you or good for anybody. But you're first going to have to get through the 50 period moving average. So we can dream about that all we want. But first, you got to get through the 50. And the 50 is not going to just open its doors and say, welcome, come on in. It just doesn't do that. I mean, just what I talked about earlier. Look over here. See how we come down? Look how we stopped right at the 50. And here we went through the 50 and we hung close to it. Here we're trying to navigate ourselves way through that 50. We actually get going and we lose it. So it's not going to just open its doors. So that makes that a terrific target. And at 20%, Thomas, I think you got yourself a nice chart here. Thanks for that one, by the way. Appreciate it. Hey, Sean, you're looking at some KGC. Looking good, and I hope so, because I am still holding WPM. I got into WPM here, and it took an absolute dive. I kept it. I'm still in it. So I'm hoping gold moves up a little bit. GLD. So let's get going gold. I'm with you there. Hey, I forgot to mention early on. Look, anybody that's listening right now or listening on the recording, remember we start here live at 8:45 a.m. Eastern here in the Hit Run Candlesticks trading room. You can always pick the live up live through our YouTube channel and X. You just log in, you'll see a thing that says live. Just click on it, and you can be in live. Outside of that, the recording will be ready in a little while for those that missed it. I want to thank everybody for being here. Thanks to everybody from YouTube and X. Thanks to Hit Run Candlesticks Room. And today I get the privilege of moderating the Right Way Options Room just for the day. Doug's down a little bit today, so we're just kind of filling in for him. All right. Thanks, everybody. We'll see everybody at the bottom of the hour when the market opens up, okay? You guys have a great, great Tuesday. Later.